The training you are about to commence will change your life by showing you how to use more of your mind. Just as over the past 25 years, it has enabled millions of people to use more of their minds. In 88 countries, from Argentina to Zimbabwe, and in all 50 states of the USA, the Silva method is giving people of every race, creed, and educational level the tools to make a better life for themselves, their families, and everyone they're in contact with. Here is the method that will put the powers of your higher intelligence to work for a fuller, richer, ever more successful life. And now, here's a brief introduction from the founder of the Silva method.
This is Jose Silva. The human mind is a magnificent organ of intelligence. Unfortunately, we are not taught how to fully use it. In fact, because of our limited understanding of the mind and our limited expectations of it, we limit the mind's ability to function at its full potential. You are about to change that. You are about to take a portion of the 4-day Silva method training that will empower you to go on to achieve an inner consciousness referred to by spiritual leaders as the kingdom within. Why a kingdom? Because you become a ruler. You take control of your behavior. You raise your IQ. You increase your influence for good, your problem-solving ability, your creativity and intuition. For success in this training, you must do more than simply listen to the voices on these tapes. You must follow their instructions for relaxing and programming yourself. The mind is like a computer. The Silva method puts you in control of that computer so that you can program it with both words and mental pictures. The prominent male voice that you'll hear is that of Dr. Bob Stone, one of our veteran trainers who over the past 2 decades has brought the Silva method to his home state of Hawaii and to a number of countries around the world. The female voice that you'll hear on this program is my daughter, Laura Silva, who took part in the original research and is today one of our most dynamic trainers. Laura and Bob will be valuable allies in helping you achieve your goals. But there's a third person who's even more important. That person is you. On these tapes, you'll be asked to do simple, natural mental exercises, and you will be given easy step-by-step instructions for doing them. Let me remind you that you cannot do these exercises while driving a car or doing anything else that demands your full attention. During certain exercises, you'll be asked to keep your eyes closed. You may listen to the program while driving, but don't do the exercises until you're able to sit in a comfortable chair in privacy and close your eyes. Please remember that Silva training is sequential, so it's not advisable to skip ahead. I know that if you follow these procedures, this program will be a monumental experience for you, and that like the others who have gone before you, you'll be able to use your mind in ways you never thought possible. Yet, this is just the beginning. To access even more of your inner genius, I hope that you'll consider enrolling later in the 4-day Silva method training. Now it's time to begin the program. I wish you all the best for listening, learning, and doing.
Welcome, and congratulations on making one of the wisest decisions of your life. With the Silva method, you'll learn how to get beyond the quantitative, rationalistic left-brain thinking that dominates our world. And you'll learn to access a deep meditative right brain level of mind where your mental powers are virtually unlimited. Jose Silva is a seminal figure in the evolution of human consciousness and achievement. And when you've learned to use his principles and techniques, there's no reason why you can't make truly great contributions of your own. By listening to these tapes, by performing the exercises you'll be introduced to, and by practicing what you hear in your daily life, you'll discover the secrets of how the greatest geniuses and the leading achievers of all time have used their mental powers. You'll be able to use the mental tools of the Silva method to bring fulfillment to every area of your life. Now, here's Dr. Stone.
Jose Silva, the founder of the powerful method of mind control that you're about to learn, is a great American success story. He never had a day of formal education in his life. Yet Jose Silva went on to become a successful businessman, an inventor, an electronics specialist, and one of the most important contributors to our knowledge of the workings of the human brain. The story began in Laredo, Texas, where Jose Silva was born. At the age of 6, when other children were still in kindergarten, Jose was already selling newspapers and shining shoes to support his family after the untimely death of his father. As a teenager, he organized a group of other youngsters to sell products door to door. Before most other youngsters had even had their first jobs, Jose had supported himself and his family by cleaning offices, repairing appliances, and even by selling baby chicks. During his service in the Army in World War II, Jose became interested in psychology, and this led to studies in hypnosis, parapsychology, and mind research. Later, he began an electronics business and was a pioneer in developing antenna systems in the early days of television. And as his electronics business grew, so did Jose's research into the hidden workings of the mind. Jose's interest in harnessing the powers of the subconscious by means of what is called the alpha level developed in a direction that most parents share. That is, he wanted to help his children improve their schoolwork. He had called upon his study of hypnotism to formulate a practical procedure for improving his children's grades by strengthening their concentration and increasing their attention spans. The secret was simple but powerful. It was all a matter of relaxation, both physical and mental. But then something happened that would refocus all of Jose Silva's thinking about the mind, an unexpected breakthrough that opened up opportunities for advancing human potential further than he had ever imagined. As part of helping his children, Jose used to read them lessons while they were in a pleasantly relaxed state, a state similar to a hypnotic trance, but at a level where they could still ask and answer questions. On the day of the breakthrough, he was reading some poems to his daughter Isabel, who was then 10 years old. As usual, Jose planned to read the poems to Isabel 3 times, bringing her out of the relaxed state between each reading and then easing her back down again. On the second reading, Jose decided to put the poems in a different order. But when he started to speak, Isabel interrupted him and began reciting the next poem he had intended to read. When she finished, Jose resumed reading another poem, but Isabel again interrupted by reciting the verses he had planned to read after that. Jose was stunned, but there could be no doubt about what had happened. His daughter was reading his mind. And this was not a carnival act with hidden microphones and mirrors. This was happening in his own living room. What sort of explanation was possible? As he read to Isabel, could his mind somehow be broadcasting his intentions? And could his daughter's mind, while in a relaxed state, somehow gain the ability to act as a receiver of his thoughts? Did the brain have the equivalent of electronic components that were able to act as transmitters and receptors? The answer to these questions proved to be a resounding yes. It was the start of a period of learning and growth that continues to this day, that has seen the expansion of the Silva method throughout the world, its acceptance by schools and by businesses, and its continuing benefits for humanity. With training, Jose's daughter Isabel became more and more accurate in guessing what her father was going to say. In fact, it was not long before Jose was convinced that he had turned his daughter into a genuine clairvoyant, and he was confident that he could train other people to use their minds in even more astonishing ways. Over the next 10 years, Jose trained 39 subjects to develop clairvoyant abilities. Then he began assembling independently functioning groups with whom he worked to turn out ever greater numbers of superminds. What had begun as a simple desire to improve his children's schoolwork became a full-fledged effort to reveal the powers and secrets of the human mind. That effort was successful. The program you're hearing now is one result of it, and those powers of the mind are yours for the taking. Remember, this is a program about doing things, about making things happen. So let me tell you right now exactly what you'll need to put the Silva method to work in your life. What you will need, in a word, is faith. And despite the religious connotations of that word, I'm not speaking specifically about a belief in God. The kind of faith I'm referring to has three components. They are desire, belief, and expectancy. Desire, belief, and expectancy are words that express feelings, and feelings are subjective. They exist within us, not as objects in the physical world like chairs or airplanes. But despite the fact that your feelings cannot be photographed or measured with a yardstick, they most certainly are real, and they are potentially very potent forces. Desire has led to the creation of everything that man has achieved throughout human history. Expectation and belief have powered that desire. Yes, what I call faith is a real energy at work. It is creative, and it's focused by your own mind. As you master the Silva method, you will learn to access more of your mind by slowing down your brainwave frequency to the alpha level. That is between 7 to 14 vibrations per second. In other words, the Silva method is a way of voluntarily entering the alpha level while retaining conscious control of your mind. Now, both brain hemispheres, not just the left, can take part in the thinking process. With the right hemisphere participating, you are literally a different person than when only your left hemisphere is involved in thinking. You are wiser. You have a higher IQ. You are more creative. You can solve whatever problems confront you, and you are able to achieve your life's goals. Sound interesting? Let me give you some instances of the Silva method in action. For example, suppose you're a jet engine inspector in an aerospace plant on the West Coast. Your job is to spot defects in the engines by using electronic equipment. As you arrive on the assembly line, you unfocus your eyes and visualize that the next engine on the line has arrived. You check out the engine in your imagination. You spot a defect in your mental picture. Sure enough, it shows up electronically later. A coincidence? Jose Silva's definition of coincidence is when higher intelligence, your own higher intelligence, lends a hand to the picture but chooses not to sign it. Another example. Imagine yourself as the manager of a real estate investment firm. You want contacts from people who are interested in selling their property. You enter your alpha level, you program yourself to get exactly what you want, and you do get it. Because of your desire, expectation, and belief, you get more property listings than you can handle. Although from a scientific viewpoint we can now understand the power of mental programming, the fact remains that it works like magic. A storekeeper who uses the Silva method will be more skillful in establishing a proper inventory from season to season. He or she will know just which items to stock and in the correct quantity. A medical doctor or other health care worker can learn to be more accurate in diagnosis than any piece of laboratory equipment, because although left brain perceptions can be deceived, right brain sensing is uncannily dependable. The examples could go on and on. Users of the Silva method are able to see results like these in their daily lives. If you complete this program and practice what you've learned, you may be able to do even more. You can achieve virtually any worthwhile goal once you take control of the full powers of your mind.
You're ready to actually perform your first exercise, but perform isn't really the correct word because there's no effort required. It's a simple relaxation exercise. Whenever you do an exercise on this program, you'll always be told exactly what to expect before you begin. There are no surprises. This is not a form of hypnotism. You won't be lulled into a trance, and you will be in control at all times. In fact, if you heard something you didn't expect while you were at your alpha level, it would most likely bring you back up to beta and terminate the exercise. To receive the full benefit of the Silva method exercises in this program, all you need to do is follow the instructions as you hear them. However, the exercises do require your full attention, so do not attempt to follow them while driving a car, operating machinery, or doing anything that prevents you from concentrating on the program. If you wish to repeat some of the exercises you've already heard, please feel free to do so, as this will strengthen your ability to reach your alpha level. On the other hand, skipping ahead is probably not a good idea. Silva Mind Control is a cumulative, progressive experience, with each exercise building upon the previous ones. To get the full benefit of the program, it's important to do the exercises in sequence. Now, here's Laura Silva to explain further.
Our standard way of relaxing and entering the alpha dimension of brain frequency is to associate numbers with the desired states. Number 6 is the everyday conscious level. Number 5 is eyelid fatigue. Number 4 is eyes closed and ready to relax. 3 is physical relaxation, and 2 is mental relaxation. Number 1 is the alpha plane level that you can use for whatever purpose you desire. Just closing your eyes eliminates about 85% of your awareness of the outside world and causes your brain to function at a lower frequency. Closing the eyes and sitting quietly is, in fact, a simple Silva method technique for learning to function at alpha. That's what you'll be doing in the first exercise, simply relaxing with your eyes closed. So, to begin, take a seat in a comfortable chair, preferably one in which your back is straight, but not rigid. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale. To help you enter a relaxed state of mind, I'm now going to count backwards from 10 to 1. 10, 9, 8, 7. Feel yourself relax and go deeper. 6, 5, 4. Deeper and deeper. 3, 2, 1. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind. Relax your eyelids. Feel how relaxed they are. Allow this feeling of relaxation to flow throughout your body, all the way down to your toes. I'm now going to be silent for a moment. When you next hear my voice, it will not startle you, and it will be as if an hour of time has passed at this level of mind. I will now bring you out of this level of relaxation by counting from 1 to 5. When you open your eyes at the count of 5, you will be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 1, 2, 3. When you open your eyes at the count of 5, you will be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. 4, 5. Feeling better than before, feeling as you do when you've had the right amount of relaxing, healthy sleep. As your training proceeds, you will learn to completely relax physically and mentally while at your alpha level. This will not only relieve stress, but can also strengthen your health. Your body heals itself at the alpha level. By relaxing for 15 minutes each day at this level of brain function, you can improve your physical well-being and make yourself more resistant to illness. And when you learn to function at the alpha brainwave level, you'll also be able to apply Silva method techniques to solve problems and to help you achieve your goals.
The Silva method is a way of voluntarily entering the alpha level of mental activity. That is, a brain frequency of between 7 and 14 beats per second. At the alpha level, you are able to use more of your mind, and your mind controls your brain. The brain itself is similar to a compact but extremely powerful computer. The 3 pounds of matter that make up the brain include about 30 billion neurons. Neurons are like the circuits in a computer. Each neuron is a collection of molecules that acts together to process and store information. The idea is absolutely awesome, isn't it? Inside your head is a computer with the equivalent of 30 billion circuits. But that's actually selling yourself short. Since every atom making up those neurons is contributing to your intelligence, it's not the 30 billion figure, but rather the total number of atoms, some 100 trillion that represent your total brain power. Now, how large a number is 100 trillion? This will give you some idea. Imagine yourself sitting in your living room, and that each atom of your brain is a BB gun pellet. With 100 trillion of these pellets at your disposal, would you have enough to fill up your living room? Yes, you most certainly would. Would you have enough to fill up your neighbor's living room? Yes, and with plenty left over. Now suppose that every second you filled up another living room. It would take you 20 million years before you ran out of BBs. Yes, you have a lot of potential brain power. The problem is, most people use only a fraction of it. The goal of the Silva method is to multiply that fraction up to infinity. The next conditioning cycle we'll do begins just like the previous one. Laura will ask you to close your eyes and will help you reach your alpha level with a 10-to-1 countdown. Then, once you're at alpha, she'll ask you to imagine, to visualize, to mentally project yourself to your own personal ideal place of relaxation. Take a moment to think about that now. Your ideal place of relaxation can be anywhere, but it should be an actual place you visited. Some people like to picture themselves floating on an inflated raft at a pool or a beach. Another person might remember a quiet spot on a farm they visited when they were a child. The important thing is to visualize a setting in which you have felt completely relaxed and at peace. Also, in the conditioning cycle you're about to do, you'll hear a carefully worded affirmation read to you while you're at alpha, a statement for your benefit to increase your powers of mind. It's like a very beneficial program offered to your mental computer. Accept it, and it becomes programming. The affirmation is, the difference between genius mentality and lay mentality is that geniuses use more of their minds and use them in a special manner. You are now learning to use more of your mind and to use it in a special manner. Now you may ask, what is the purpose of this statement? You might ask, is this supposed to program me to be a genius? The answer is, not only is it supposed to program you to be a genius, but it is programming you to be a genius. Or perhaps I should say, more of a genius. Because a genius is someone who uses more of his or her mind, who uses both the right side and the left side of the brain. That is what you are doing when you go to your alpha level. And then when you hear an affirmation at the alpha level, it enters your mind in a very basic, very powerful way. So these are the things that we will be doing in your second exercise. You'll visualize your ideal place of relaxation, and you'll hear the genius statement while you're at your level. Here's Laura.
Please sit down in a comfortable chair, preferably one with a straight back. I think you'll find that over the course of our conditioning cycles, you'll be most comfortable with your feet flat on the floor. We'll start this exercise with eyes closed. So close your eyes closed. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, enter a deeper level of mind. To help you enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, I'm going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, you will feel yourself going deeper, and you will enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, 1. Now you are at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. You may enter a deeper, healthier level of mind by simply relaxing your eyelids. Relax. Feel how relaxed they are. Allow this feeling of relaxation to flow slowly downward throughout your body, all the way down to your toes. It is a wonderful feeling to be deeply relaxed, a very healthy state of being. To help you enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, I am going to count from 1 to 3 and cause a sound with my fingers. At that moment, you will project yourself mentally to your ideal place of relaxation. I will then stop talking to you, and when you next hear my voice, 1 hour of time will have elapsed at this level of mind. My voice will not startle you. You will take a deep breath, relax, and to go deeper. 1, 2, 3. Project yourself mentally to your ideal place of relaxation until you hear my voice again. Relax. Relax. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, relax and go deeper. You will continue to listen to my voice. You will continue to follow the instructions at this level of the mind and any other level, including the outer conscious level. This is for your benefit. You desire it, and it is so. Whenever you hear me mention the word relax, all unnecessary movements of your body, brain, and mind will cease immediately, and you will become completely passive and relaxed physically and mentally. I may bring you out of this level or a deeper level than this by counting to you from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, your eyes will open. You will be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health. The difference between genius mentality and lay mentality is that geniuses use more of their minds and use them in a special manner. You are now learning to use more of your mind and to use it in a special manner. In the next exercise, we will impress and program beneficial statements for your benefit. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5 and cause a sound with my fingers. At that moment, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. you will have no ill effects whatsoever in your head, no headache. No ill effects whatsoever in your hearing, no buzzing in your ears. No ill effects whatsoever in your vision and eyesight. Vision, eyesight, and hearing improve every time you function at these levels of the mind. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3. At the count of 5, you will open your eyes, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Feeling the way you feel when you have slept the right amount of revitalizing, refreshing, relaxing, healthy sleep. 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before.
Even while you're at the level of everyday outer consciousness, that is, the beta level of brain frequency, positive statements to yourself or to others will naturally bring positive results. But the converse is also true. If you allow yourself to develop a negative orientation, which is reflected in your thoughts, words, and deeds, the effect on you will be correspondingly and overwhelmingly negative. To deal with this potential problem, Jose Silva developed a technique called mental house cleaning. Dr. Bob Stone will explain.
Very few people need any instruction in negative self-programming. You don't need to read any books or to take any classes in programming yourself negatively. It's obviously something that people learn to do very well on their own. But what does negative self-programming really mean? What does this programming consist of? It consists of two things, negative words and negative pictures, repeated many times over. When you repeat words again and again, when you hold images in your mind for prolonged periods of time, these words and images very quickly begin to function as mental programs. With the Silva method, you can perform what we call mental house cleaning, to replace negative patterns with positive self-programming. When you catch yourself using negative words or phrases, you can erase them from your computer by quickly saying, cancel, cancel. Those two words clear your mind, your mental computer, just like pushing a key clears the screen of a word processor. Cancel, cancel. Then you immediately replace the negative form of what you just said with a more positive version. For instance, suppose you catch yourself saying something like, that idea leaves me cold. Now, do you really want a cold? All that coughing and sneezing? Absolutely not. So you say, cancel, cancel, and replace it leaves me cold with a more positive phrase. But you don't have to change the meaning. You can still get the same idea across. Maybe you would now say, well, it's going to take me a little while to warm up to that idea. Another important point. Always use the phrase better and better at every opportunity. If somebody says, how are you? You answer, better and better. How do you like the bologna sandwiches? Better and better. Before long, it becomes part of you, like a reflex. Better and better will function as a sort of verbal compass to keep you pointed in the positive direction you want to go. Here are some specific steps you can take right now toward a more positive way of life. First, get a pen and a piece of paper and list the negative thoughts, attitudes, or behaviors you want to change. Be honest with yourself. If you feel you have a problem in a certain area, admit it. Then, in a parallel column on the same piece of paper, list the opposite positive qualities, the way you want to be, the way you're going to be. Now, sit down. Close your eyes, relax, and count down to your alpha level as we've been doing. Focus on the first negative characteristic that you wrote on your list. Focus on it clearly, then assert the opposite quality from your parallel list. Focus just as hard on that new programming. Really see yourself as you're going to be. Count up from 1 to 5, reasserting the positive programming at the count of 3, and again when you open your eyes at 5. Claim the new quality as your own emphatically. Every day, focus on another characteristic from your list and replace it with the positive one. When you get to the bottom of the list, take stock of what you have accomplished and what you still need to work on, and repeat the procedure where necessary.
The next Silva method exercise you'll do is an extended relaxation designed to make you more adept at reaching your alpha level and to make it easier for you to attain that level whenever you want in the future. By repeating this long, relax exercise several times over the course of a week, you can make it even more beneficial. This exercise was developed by Jose Silva over many years of research. It will allow you to attain a state of deep relaxation, deeper than sleep itself, yet accompanied by that special kind of awareness.
During this part of your conditioning cycle, we'll focus individually and progressively on the various parts of your body, on the specific muscle groups, to relax them one by one. As we focus on each area of your body, turn your full awareness to that area. Let yourself feel it internally, consciously knowing it's there. This awareness may take the form of a tingling sensation or a sensation of warmth, which is caused by blood circulating. Then, as you relax, the blood will circulate even better. Relaxing yourself physically in this way will have a corresponding effect on your brain frequency. Remember that the alpha level is defined as being between 7 and 14 pulsations per second. Some people may reach this range after only a few practice sessions, while others may take longer. This exercise will do a great deal to deepen your state of relaxation, to bring you to your alpha level, and make it easier to achieve the benefits you want. After we've counted down to begin the exercise, you'll begin to hear a specially designed pulsing sound, a sound which has been proven to facilitate relaxation. If it seems distracting at first, don't try to force yourself to ignore it, just make it part of the experience. Indeed, you shouldn't try to force yourself to ignore any distractions. If you're interrupted for any reason during the exercise, if you feel uncomfortable or you want to open your eyes, just go ahead and do so. And then when you're ready to resume, you should reset the tape to this point, to the beginning of our countdown. This relaxation exercise Laura will be guiding you through will comprise the rest of this tape side.
We will begin this exercise with the 5-to-1 method. Assume a comfortable sitting position, facing straight ahead, with your eyes turned upward at a 45-degree angle. Select and concentrate your sight on any spot on the wall and keep from blinking as long as possible. Mentally repeat and visualize the number 5 several times until you feel your eyelids fatigued and wanting to close. When you feel this, do not force your eyes to remain open. Close them and keep them closed until the end of this exercise. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Close your eyes. With your eyes closed, mentally repeat and visualize the number 4 several times, and you are at level 4, a deeper level than 5. Whenever you close your eyes to function at deeper levels of mind, occasionally tell yourself mentally, if someone calls me, or in case of danger, or an emergency, I will open my eyes immediately and be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health. To enter the physical relaxation level 3, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 several times, and you are at level 3. A deeper level than 4, and much deeper than 5. Level 3 is for physical relaxation, to learn to relax from head to toes in a matter of seconds. To help you learn to relax physically at level 3, I'm going to direct your attention to different parts of your body. Concentrate your sense of awareness on your scalp, the skin that covers your head. You will detect a fine vibration, a tingling sensation, a feeling of warmth caused by circulation. Now release and completely relax all tensions and ligament pressures from this part of your head and place it in a deep state of relaxation that will grow deeper as we continue. Concentrate your sense of awareness on your forehead, the skin that covers your forehead. You will detect a fine vibration, a tingling sensation, a feeling of warmth caused by circulation. Now release and completely relax all tensions and ligament pressures from this part of your head and place it in a deep state of relaxation that will grow deeper as we continue. Concentrate your sense of awareness on your eyelids and the tissue surrounding your eyes. You will detect a fine vibration, a tingling sensation, a feeling of warmth caused by circulation. Now release and completely relax all tensions and ligament pressures from this part of your head and place it in a deep state of relaxation that will grow deeper as we continue. Concentrate your sense of awareness on your face, the skin covering your cheeks. Now release and completely relax all tensions and ligament pressures from this part of your head and place it in a deep state of relaxation that will grow deeper as we continue. Concentrate on the outer portion of your throat, the skin covering your throat area. Now release and completely relax all tensions and ligament pressures from this part of your body. Concentrate within the throat area and relax all tensions and ligament pressures from this part of your body. Concentrate on your shoulders. Feel your clothing in contact with your body. Feel the skin and the vibration of the skin covering this part of the body. Relax all tensions and ligament pressures and place your shoulders in a deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper every time. Concentrate on your chest. Feel your clothing in contact with your body. Feel the skin and the vibration of the skin covering your chest. Relax all tensions and ligament pressures and place your chest in a deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper every time. Concentrate within the chest area. Relax all organs. Relax all glands. Relax all tissues, including the cells themselves, and cause them to function in a rhythmic, healthy manner. Concentrate on your abdomen. Feel your clothing in contact with your body. Feel the skin and the vibration of the skin covering your abdomen. Relax all tensions and ligament pressures and place your abdomen in a deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper every time. Concentrate within the abdominal area. Relax all organs. Relax all glands. Relax all tissues, including the cells themselves, and cause them to function in a rhythmic, healthy manner. Concentrate on your thighs. Feel your clothing in contact with your body. Feel the skin and the vibration of the skin covering your thighs. Relax all tensions and ligament pressures and place your thighs in a deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper every time. Sense the vibrations at the bones within the thighs. By now, these vibrations should be easily detectable. Concentrate on your knees. Feel the skin and the vibration of the skin covering the knees. Relax all tensions and ligament pressures and place your knees in a deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper every time. Concentrate on your calves. Feel the skin and the vibration of the skin covering your calves. Relax all tensions and ligament pressures and place these parts of your body in a deep state of relaxation, going deeper and deeper every time. To enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, concentrate on your toes. Enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. To enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, concentrate on the soles of your feet. Enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. To enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, concentrate on the heels of your feet. Enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. Now cause your feet to feel as though they do not belong to your body. Feel your feet as though they do not belong to your body. Your feet feel as though they do not belong to your body. Your feet, ankles, and calves feel as though they do not belong to your body. Your feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, waist, shoulders, arms, and hands feel as though they do not belong to your body. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. This is your physical relaxation level 3. Whenever you mentally repeat and visualize the number 3, your body will relax as completely as you are now, and more so every time you practice. To enter the mental relaxation level 2, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 several times, and you are at level 2. A deeper level than 3, and much deeper than 4, 5, and 6. Level 2 is for mental relaxation, where noises will not distract you. Instead, noises will help you to relax mentally more and more. To help you learn to relax mentally at level 2, I'm going to call your attention to different passive scenes. Visualizing any scene that makes you tranquil and passive will help you relax mentally. Being at the beach on a nice summer day may be a tranquil and passive scene for you. A day out fishing may be a tranquil and passive scene for you. A tranquil and passive scene for you Maybe a walk through the woods on a beautiful summer day when the breeze is just right, where there are tall shade trees, beautiful flowers, a very blue sky, an occasional cloud, birds singing in the distance, even squirrels playing on the tree limbs. Hear birds singing in the distance. This is mental relaxation level 2, where noises will not distract you. To enhance mental relaxation at level 2, practice visualizing tranquil and passive scenes. To enter the basic plane level 1, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 several times. You are now at level 1, the basic plane level that you are learning to use for a purpose, any purpose you desire. To enter deeper, healthier levels of mind, practice with the countdown deepening exercises. To deepen, count downward from 100 to 1, or from 50 to 1, or from 25 to 1. When you reach the count of 1, you will have reached a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. You will always have full control and complete dominion over your faculties and senses at all levels of the mind, including the outer conscious level. The best time to practice the countdown deepening exercises is in the morning when you wake up. Remain in bed at least 5 minutes practicing the countdown deepening exercises. The second best time to practice is at night when you are ready to retire. The third best time to practice is at noon after lunch. 5 minutes of practice is good. 10 minutes is very good. 15 minutes is excellent. Practicing once a day is good. Twice a day is very good. 3 times a day is excellent. If you have a health problem, practice for 15 minutes 3 times a day. To come out of any level of the mind, count to yourself mentally from 1 to 5, and tell yourself that at the count of 5, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Then proceed to count slowly from 1 to 2, then to 3, and at the count of 3, mentally remind yourself that at the count of 5, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. Proceed to count slowly to 4, then to 5. At the count of 5, and with your eyes open, mentally tell yourself, I am wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, and this is so. In your next session, you will enter Level 1 by means of the 3-2-1 method. You will enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, faster and easier than you did this time. You'll start the next session in a comfortable position with your eyes closed. You'll take a deep breath, and while exhaling, you'll mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. And you will be at Level 3. Level 3 is for physical relaxation. You'll take another deep breath, and while exhaling, you'll mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times. And you will be at Level 2. Mental relaxation. You'll take another deep breath, and while exhaling, you'll mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. And you will be at Level 1, the basic, plain level that you are learning to use for a purpose, any purpose you desire. Every time you function at these levels of the mind, you will receive beneficial effects physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help yourself physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help any human being who needs help physically and mentally. You will never use these levels of the mind to harm any human being. If this be your intention, you will not be able to function at these levels of the mind. You will always use these levels of the mind in a constructive, creative manner for all that is good, honest, pure, clean, and positive. And this is so. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5 and cause a sound with my fingers. At that moment, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. You will have no ill effects whatsoever in your head, no headache. No ill effects whatsoever in your hearing, no buzzing in your ears. No ill effects whatsoever in your vision and eyesight. Vision, eyesight, and hearing improve every time you function at these levels of the mind. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3. At the count of 5, you will open your eyes, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, feeling the way you feel when you have slept the right amount of revitalizing, refreshing, relaxing, healthy sleep. 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before.
Welcome to Side 3 of the Silva Method. As you listen to this side, you'll want to have a pencil and paper handy. On this side, we'll explain how, using Silva Method techniques, you can quickly acquire a foolproof memory, the ability to learn quickly, and other qualities associated with genius mentality. Here's Dr. Bob Stone.
When you hear the word intelligence, what do you understand it to mean? Undoubtedly, the meaning of intelligence changes with the context in which the word is used. Sometimes intelligence means an ability to do easily some mental activity that most people consider difficult, like advanced mathematics. In another context, intelligence can mean simply good judgment or common sense. But one thing is certain about how most of us think of intelligence. We think it's a fixed characteristic. You either have it or you don't. Or rather, you've got a certain amount of it, and with little leeway, that's all you're going to get. It's like your height. If you're 5'10", there's nothing you can do that'll make you 6'3", is there? At least I haven't heard of it. Now, the whole belief system of the Silva method in regard to intelligence is totally opposed to that fixed view of intelligence as symbolized by IQ scores. Our thinking is as follows. Your brain has virtually unlimited intellectual capacity. Up to this point in your life, you've learned to use a certain fraction of that capacity, probably a very small fraction, but the most important point is you can begin to use much more of your brain power, and you can start doing it very quickly. Which gets back to our definition of a genius. Remember, according to Jose Silva, a genius is someone who uses more of his or her mind. A genius is not someone who's very intelligent, because we're all very intelligent. We are all infinitely intelligent, in fact. In helping you to become more like a genius, our focus right now will be on developing your memory. All right, as we begin our work with your memory, it should come as no surprise that you'll need to use your imagination. Let's pretend that you're the owner of 10 hardware stores, and each one needs to be restocked with a different item. How long would it take you to memorize those requirements? Of course, you could write them down, but sometimes in business you do need to keep things in your head, so let's see how quickly you can do it. As an experiment, try making a list of 10 hardware items, lettered A through J. Then note the time and memorize the list. Stop timing yourself only when you've been able to name all the letters and hardware items correctly. For most people, memorizing this way is strictly a left brain activity and takes about 10 minutes. So do it now. Now let's see what happens when you turn it into a right brain-dominated activity by visualizing. Look at your list of items lettered A through J. Now imagine that each letter stands for an animal. A for ant, B for buffalo, C for cat, and so on. If the hardware item you had listed beside A was tape, visualize an ant stuck to a piece of tape. If your item beside B was light bulbs, imagine a buffalo reading by the light of a light bulb. Make your visualizations as cartoonish and unique as you can, and mentally create one for each of your 10 items. When I say go, turn off your cassette player and again time yourself as you memorize the list. But now you won't be memorizing in the conventional sense. You'll simply be making 10 mental pictures. You'll be making a picture in your mind that uses tape and ants. Next, you'll create a picture that connects light bulbs with buffalo. Any picture that vividly and physically connects the hardware item with any animal that starts with the appropriate letter is fine. The important thing is that you really create the picture. Saying an ant stuck in tape is not a visualization, it's just a string of words. You must not use words. You must stop and make a clear mental picture. You must really see it happening. Take your time. Have you made your list? Turn off your cassette player when I say go, then time yourself as you make 10 pictures. In 3 seconds, I will say go. 1, 2, 3, go. Now cover up your list so that you can see only the letters A through J. Visualize ants. What are they doing? Next, visualize a buffalo. What object is with the buffalo? As you recite the items you need to remember, you will probably be correct the first time around. For most people, the elapsed time to learn the 10 items using the right brain visualization method is about 1 minute, compared to 10 minutes with left brain thinking. Laura Silva will take you through a conditioning exercise to program the material you've learned into your mental computer. Then I'll be back and we'll see how well the system has worked for you.
We will start this exercise with the 3-2-1 method. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. You are now at level 1, the basic plane level that you are learning to use for a purpose, any purpose you desire. To help you enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, I am going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, you will feel yourself going deeper, and you will enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, 1. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. Take a few moments now to visualize some peaceful scene that you have witnessed. Relax. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, relax and go deeper. We will now impress and program for your benefit several memory pegs to be used in the improvement of memory and clairvoyance. We will program the 10 standard, most often used memory pegs. Number 1, the letter T, the peg word tea. Project a strong picture of a glass of tea. Number 2, the letter N, the peg word Noah. Project a strong picture of a man with a long white beard. Number 3, the letter M, the peg word May. Project a strong picture of a calendar. Number 4, the letter R, the peg word ray. Mental picture, sun rays. Number 5, the letter L, the peg word law. Mental picture, a policeman. Number 6, the letter J, the peg word jaw. Mental picture, a shark. Number 7, the letter K. The peg word key. Mental picture, a large gold key. Number 8, the letter F. The peg word fee. Mental picture, a price tag of $8 million. Number 9, the letter B. The peg word bay. Mental picture, land and water. Number 10, the letters T and S. The peg word toes. Mental picture, 10 toes. We will now impress the 10 objects to be remembered. Peg number 1 is T. The object to be remembered is a clock. Now associate a clock with a glass of tea in some strange, humorous, or attention-getting way. Peg number 2 is Noah, a man with a long, white beard. The second object to be remembered is a hammer. Project a vivid image of Noah associated with a hammer. Peg number 3 is May, a calendar. The object is a carton of milk. Project a mental image of the calendar and the milk. Peg number 4 is ray, a ray of sunlight. The object is a bicycle. Project a picture. Peg number 5 is law, a policeman. The object is a loaf of bread. Project a picture. Peg number 6 is jaw, a shark. The object is a pair of shoes. Project a picture. Peg number 7 is key, a large gold key. The object is a frying pan. Project a picture. Peg number 8 is a price tag of $8 million. The object, a hairbrush. Peg number 9 is bay, land and water. The object is a table lamp. Peg number 10 is 10 toes. The object is a banana. You have now impressed and programmed memory pegs for your benefit. You may use them for the improvement of visualization, imagination, clairvoyance, and memory. Every time you function at these levels of the mind, you will receive beneficial effects, physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help yourself, physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help your loved ones, physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help any human being who needs help, physically and mentally. You will never use these levels of the mind to harm any human being. If this be your intention, you will not be able to function at these levels of the mind. You will always use these levels of the mind in a constructive, creative manner for all that is good, honest, pure, clean, and positive, and this is so. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5 and cause a sound with my fingers. At that moment, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. You will have no ill effects whatsoever in your head, no headache, no ill effects whatsoever in your hearing, no buzzing in your ears, no ill effects whatsoever in your vision and eyesight. Vision, eyesight, and hearing improve every time you function at these levels of the mind. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3. At the count of 5, you will open your eyes, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, feeling the way you feel when you have slept the right amount of revitalizing, refreshing, relaxing, healthy sleep. 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before.
If you conscientiously created 10 mental pictures, you have memorized the objects. To see how well you did, say the name of the object as I give you the 10 memory pegs in sequence. Write down the objects as they come to mind with each picture. First, a glass of tea. Second, Noah. Third, May. Fourth, Ray. Fifth, Law. Sixth, Jaw. Seventh, Key. Eighth, price tag of $8 million. Ninth, Bay. 10th, 10 toes. If you made 10 pictures, you got 10 right. That's because you used both sides of your brain in creating the 10 images. Remember, learning the memory pegs, seeing a mental picture of each one, is something you can practice whenever you like. The more you practice, the stronger your imaging abilities will become. You'll be able to use all the Silva techniques more effectively as a result. You now know that what you visualize and imagine while at a relaxed level of mind, you create. This is the nature of the human mind, connected as it is to the sources of creativity. Have you been using this fantastic creative ability? You come home from a busy workday, plop into an easy chair, take a deep breath, and mentally appreciate how good it is to be home. You're relaxed. Now, what do you picture while relaxed? You go over in your mind everything that went wrong during the day. You think about your problems. You worry. And what are you creating? Exactly what you don't want. You're reinforcing your troubles, deepening your problems, prolonging your difficulties. Now that I've called your attention to this, you're going to stop thinking about problems and start thinking about solutions, right? I wish you could. What a change that would be in your life. But the bad news is that you're in the habit of worrying. You are programmed to think the way you think. Psychologists say that the harder you try to break a habit, the more sure it is that you'll fail. Now the good news. You can program yourself out of old ways of problem-oriented thinking into new ways of solution-oriented thinking, effortlessly. In a few minutes, you'll not only know how to accomplish this, but you'll also have the opportunity to see one of your problems transformed into a solution. The procedure is a key Silva method tool you will acquire now and that will benefit you all your life. It's called the mirror of the mind. Let me tell you how it works. At the alpha level, you'll create a full-length mirror. The mirror can encompass a small scene or a large scene. It has a frame. The frame can be blue or it can be white. You'll use the blue frame around the mirror of the mind when you're identifying a problem. You'll change to the white frame to program for, that is, to create, the solution you want or the goal you wish to reach. Let me tell you about how the mirror of the mind changes habitual problem-oriented thinking. Once you see the problem in the blue-framed mirror, you never again go back to seeing the problem. Whenever you think of the project, it won't be a problem anymore, it'll be a project. Whenever you think of the project, you'll instantly see it as the solution framed in white. Laura is also going to give you a bonus in this conditioning cycle. After she helps you to deepen your relaxation, she will repeat the positive statements that you heard earlier in this training. And in ending the session, she'll remind you how you can not only help yourself, you can help others as well. So this will be a little longer exercise. Enjoy it. Here's Laura.
We will start this exercise with the 3-2-1 method. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. You are now at level 1, the basic plane level that you are learning to use for a purpose, any purpose you desire. To help you enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, I am going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, you will feel yourself going deeper, and you will enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, 1. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. Take a few moments now to visualize some peaceful scene that you have witnessed. The difference between genius mentality and lay mentality is that geniuses use more of their minds and use them in a special manner. You are now learning to use more of your mind and to use it in a special manner. The following are beneficial statements that you may occasionally repeat while at these levels of the mind. Repeat mentally after me. My increasing mental faculties are for serving humanity better. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Positive thoughts bring me benefits and advantages I desire. I have full control and complete dominion over my sensing faculties at this level of the mind and at any other level, including the outer conscious level, and this is so. We will now impress information for your benefit. Programming the mirror of the mind. A formula-type technique you can use for problem solving and habit control. Create and project a full-length mirror. This mirror will be known as the mirror of the mind. The mirror of the mind can be mentally increased in size to encompass within its frame anything or things, any person or persons, any small scene or large scene. The color of the frame of the mirror of the mind can be mentally changed from blue to white. The blue frame will denote the problem or the existing situation, which can be converted into a project. The white frame will denote the solution or goal. To solve a problem or to reach a goal with the mirror of the mind, enter level 1 with the 3-to-1 method. Create an image of the problem thing, person, or scene, and project it on your blue-framed mirror of the mind in order to make a good study of the problem. After making a good study of the problem, erase the problem image, move the mirror to your left, change the mirror's frame to white, and create and project a solution image onto the white-framed mirror. From then on, anytime you happen to think of the project, you will visualize the solution image you have created, and this is so. I will now allow you time to work one problem case. Begin by applying your learned techniques. When you hear my voice again, you will relax even more. Every time you function at these levels of the mind, you will receive beneficial effects physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help yourself physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help your loved ones physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind to help any human being who needs help physically and mentally. You will never use these levels of the mind to harm any human being. If this be your intention, you will not be able to function at these levels of the mind. You will always use these levels of the mind in a constructive, creative manner for all that is good, honest, pure, clean, and positive, and this is so. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5 and cause a sound with my fingers. At that moment, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. You will have no ill effects whatsoever in your head, no headache. No ill effects whatsoever in your hearing, no buzzing in your ears. No ill effects whatsoever in your vision and eyesight. Vision, eyesight, and hearing improve every time you function at these levels of the mind. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3, at the count of 5, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, feeling the way you feel when you have slept the right amount of revitalizing, refreshing, relaxing, healthy sleep. 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before.
In this session, you'll undertake an especially interesting and rewarding task. Using the powers of your mind that you've been developing throughout this program, you'll now create your own mental laboratory, an ideal inner space to which you can return whenever you want to do intuitive or clairvoyant work. After you've created your laboratory, you'll learn how you can use it as a setting for healing others and for the relief of their pain. Here once again is Dr. Bob Stone.
In the outer physical world, the objective world, you have specific places for your various activities, a kitchen, a dining room, an office, and so forth. Things get done much more efficiently when physical space is organized like this. So it makes sense that having a special place in the subjective, inner world will allow you to do creative work more effectively too. This is what you are going to construct for yourself in the next few minutes. In other words, you're going to create a mental laboratory. Not only that, but you are going to invite expert counselors into your laboratory to assist you with whatever task you're engaged in. The mental laboratory is where you'll really be able to control and use your mind's genius potential. The mental laboratory gives you a method of functioning within the subjective dimension that enables you to create anything you desire so that it can be manifest in the outer physical dimension. In other words, what you do in your mental laboratory can translate into positive changes in your work, your health, and your relationships with friends and family. Jose Silva originated the concept of creating a special interior space for doing subjective work during the early stages of his research when he was working with children to develop their clairvoyant potential. The way it came about is very interesting. Jose found that the children sometimes felt disoriented when they were at a level of deep relaxation. As a result, Jose realized that people would function more comfortably at the subjective dimension if they visualized or imagined an environment that was similar to the physical world. This was how the idea for the laboratory was born, to be located wherever you want, furnished however you like, and completed with whatever medications and instruments you need to solve all problems. The idea for inviting counselors into the mental lab came about in the same way. Jose was working with his daughter Margarita, who at that time was about 7 years old. She had gone to her alpha level and was engaged in using her clairvoyant powers to help a woman who was ill and in a hospital. Suddenly, Margarita seemed to become frightened, and when Jose asked what was the matter, Margarita said, "It's the woman in the hospital. Her eyes are so big they scare me." By this point in his work, Jose knew how well the subjective level responds to commands that are linked to an objective physical action. He told Margarita to snap the fingers of her left hand, and that this would bring the sick woman's eyes back to normal size. Margarita snapped her fingers, and the result was as Jose said. Later, Jose thought about this episode. What if Margarita had gone to her level without him being present and had become frightened? He decided to have his children create adults who could be with them in their mental laboratories, not just as comforting presences, but as advisors and counselors. Soon each of Jose's children had created an advisor to help in their psychic work. The children used their advisor to help them solve the health problems or other human problems that they were given. Jose was quite happy. He said to one of his boys, "Ask your counselor what he thinks of my idea." Back came the answer, "He says, what makes you think it was your idea in the first place?" Not exactly a child's response. But a further refinement was still needed. One day Margarita asked her male advisor about a female problem, but the male advisor was too embarrassed to help. After that, Jose had his children create a second counselor of the opposite sex. You will be choosing your own counselor to invite into your mental laboratory. A male counselor can help you with problems involving males. A female counselor can help you with problems involving females. Your laboratory will be a very personal place, so we'll not be doing a conditioning exercise to program it for you. It's important, though, that when you go to your alpha level by the standard 3-to-1 method, you then add an extra 10-to-1 countdown to take you to a still deeper level, the creative level. After this extra 10-to-1 countdown, you are at a deeper level of mind, and this is where the fun begins. You can now begin imagining exactly what your mental laboratory is like. Creating your laboratory is just like building your dream house would be in the physical world, except that it's a lot easier. The first step is to decide where it should be located. It can be anywhere, on your roof, in your attic, in your own backyard. You can even build your laboratory in your neighbor's backyard, and he won't mind at all. It can be on a hillside, in a tree, or on a beach. You decide. Once you've settled on a location, the next step is to create a room, your ideal room. Once again, it's a good idea to do this step by step, just as if you were constructing a room in the physical world. But while it might take weeks in the physical world, it's going to take you only seconds. Start out with 4 walls, a ceiling, and a floor. Now paint the walls any color you want, or use wallpaper or tiling or wood paneling. You can even create an oak-paneled room with oil paintings on the walls. You can install bookshelves and cabinets if you like. The idea is to make a room you've always wanted, a room you'll enjoy going to every day. Determine which is the south wall of your laboratory and leave that wall blank. You'll need a desk and a chair. You can design all the furniture yourself if you like. In seconds, there they are. Position the desk and chair so you can sit at the desk and be facing the south wall. You'll also need a clock and a perpetual calendar. Create a clock and put it anywhere you wish. Then create a calendar that contains all dates, past, present, and future. Again, put it anywhere you wish in your laboratory. You might want to have a panel of buttons and switches set in one of the armrests of your chair. They will help you regulate a number of things for your convenience and comfort. Every laboratory needs filing cabinets, but yours are special. You have one that contains all the information there is now or ever will be for men, and another just like it for women. All you have to do is know it's there, and it will be there. The filing cabinets can be operated automatically, so that at the touch of a button, the documents you're seeking will appear on the desk in front of you. Now there are just a couple of other things. You should equip your lab with all the tools that ever existed or ever will exist, up to and including the most powerful supercomputer, plus all the chemicals and medications that ever existed or will exist. If there are some miracle drugs that don't yet exist in the physical world, but that should exist, be sure to put those in your lab too. Things happen instantly at this level, so it won't take you much time to create your mental laboratory. When you're satisfied, that you've got the perfect setting in which to do intuitive work, healing work, and psychic work to help make this a better world to live in, end your session by counting up from 1 to 10 and then from 1 to 5. Later that day, or as soon as it's convenient, go back and revisit your laboratory. Don't forget to do the extra 10 to 1 countdown after you've gone to your alpha level by the 3 to 1 method. As you re-enter your laboratory, check out the room, the chair, the desk, the clock, the calendar. It's all there just the way you left it. Check out the filing cabinets, the tools and equipment, the chemicals and medications. If you forgot anything for your comfort or convenience, now's the time to put it in. Now, behind your desk and on either side of your chair, create one more chair for the expert, whom we'll call the counselor, that you'll be inviting. But first you'll need a way to bring him or her into your laboratory. To do this, you'll need an imaginary elevator with a door. Elevator doors usually open from side to side, but yours moves down into the floor. You use this kind of door so you can start with the head as you slowly lower the door and create your counselor's body as you go. Control buttons are on the arm of your chair. It's suggested that you end your session at this point, 1 to 10 and 1 to 5, and wait a few hours before returning to your lab to create the counselor. This advisor or counselor can be an individual for whom you have respect. You should invite different counselors into your lab to help with different problems. They may be famous people in the physical world, people who are widely recognized for their accomplishments, or they may be people from your own life whose judgment you have come to trust. But regardless of their place in the physical world, your advisors are supremely gifted in every field during the times they are with you in your laboratory. Even though they may be less than geniuses in some areas in everyday life, in the mental laboratory, your higher self is in touch with their higher selves, and higher selves are in touch with unlimited intelligence. Here's how to go about bringing your counselor into your lab. First, consider carefully whom you want to select. Do not let a counselor appear spontaneously. Remember, you are in complete control. You make things happen. Once you have selected the identity of your counselor, go back to your laboratory by the same countdowns you have been using, 3 to 1 and 10 to 1. As you sit behind your desk, visualize what your counselor looks like. Imagine that he or she is waiting outside the door that you created. Now mentally invite him or her into the laboratory by slowly causing the door to open from the top down. When the counselor has entered, close the door behind him and have him sit in one of your chairs. Thank your counselor for coming and end your session in the usual 1 to 10, 1 to 5 way. From now on, whenever you enter your mental laboratory, your counselor will be there. Greet him or her. Perhaps have a moment of silence or even say a welcome prayer. Many Silva graduates use the most powerful prayer of their particular religion, as this assures them that they are prepared to do the greatest good. In your laboratory, you will become whatever you assign your counselors to be. If you believe that they are all-knowing and endowed with great wisdom, then that is how you will be at this dimension of mind. It's important to understand that you do not create the counselors to do your subjective work for you. They are created to work through you. It is you who is learning and evolving, and they are your guides in achieving your goals. The way to receive help from your counselor is by asking for the specific information you need. Maybe you want to help somebody with kidney stones and you don't really know what to do. After asking, disconnect. That is, start figuring out what to do. You may get the idea to crush the stones with your fingers. Do it. The idea came from your counselor. When you leave the laboratory, say goodbye to your counselor. Once again, many people choose to say a farewell prayer. Disengage your mind from the problem you have been working on. Let go. Because at the creative dimension, you've already solved that problem. The mental laboratory is your place to be creative in the highest meaning of the word. You should use it every day. If you've participated in all the exercises you've heard on these cassettes, you're well on your way to developing your subjective mental powers to the fullest. Please note that I didn't say listened to the exercises. I said participated in them. Participation is the key word because the Silva method is truly a method for doing things and for making things happen. Now I'd like to propose 5 specific steps you can take after you've come to the end of these tapes so that you can continue your self-transformation. Step 1. You can attend the Silva Method Basic Lecture Series. This would be a very positive step for you to take toward making the most of your subjective powers of mind. Step 2. You can read the wide selection of books by and about Jose Silva and his work. These cover topics from healing yourself and others of physical problems to becoming more effective in your career. The books are available at any good bookstore. But as with every aspect of Silva training, simply reading the pages will not be enough to bring all the results you want. Putting the book down and doing the exercises is the key. Step 3. You can begin a 40-day self-training course to strengthen your intuitive and clairvoyant skills. As you've learned, the optimum time for working at your alpha level is when you first wake up in the morning. So that's when you should plan to implement this self-training. Here are the procedures you can follow. When you awaken in the morning, prop up your pillow so that you're no longer lying flat. Close your eyes, turn them slightly upward, and count down from 100. When you reach 1, tell yourself mentally, I am going to count from 1 to 5. When I reach 5, I will open my eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine, feeling better than before. Follow this procedure for the first 10 mornings. Then shorten your countdown, reducing it from 100 to 1 to 50 to 1. After 10 more mornings, reduce it again. Now you're counting from 25 to 1. Finally, on the last 10 mornings, count from 10 to 1. By this time, a 10 to 1 count will produce the same deep state of relaxation that a 100 to 1 count produced at the start. This can be a substitute for or a procedure leading up to the 3 to 1 method used in these tapes and in the 4-day training. For all of the 40 mornings, when you reach the count of 1, you should end your relaxation session in the following way. Tell yourself mentally, I am going to count from 1 to 5. When I reach 5, I'll open my eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine, feeling better than before. And it will be so. Step 4. Just going to your alpha level every morning is highly beneficial. But you can take another step by adding to your morning countdown exercise, which will deepen your alpha level after you've reached the count of 1. For example, you can perform progressive relaxation by concentrating on specific parts of your body. Start at your scalp, relax it, then progress downward through your forehead, eyes, mouth, and so on. As you do so, you can mentally repeat an affirmation such as, each time I relax this way, I go deeper, faster. Or you can visualize a peaceful scene that you recall. Make the mental pictures real. Feel that you are really there. And step 5. Remember that with your Silva training, you can benefit not only yourself but other people as well. A good way to do this is to engage in subjective conversation after you've reached your alpha level. Visualize the person you need to speak with and mentally communicate with that person. If there's a problem to be solved, identify the problem and suggest a solution. Keep in mind that the form of the mental message you send is important, because at the subjective level, your higher self is in touch with the other person's higher self. If you try to communicate in a hostile way, the adversarial tone will only lead to failure. Problem-oriented thinking brings problems, and solution-oriented thinking brings solutions. So to communicate effectively, avoid who is right in favor of what is right. You can continue to build on what you've learned in this program by following the 5 steps I've just suggested, and you can also create new steps of your own. If you do, you'll reap the benefits in every area of your life. Let's do a final exercise together, knowing that this is not the end, but rather the beginning of your daily alpha time on your own, improving your health, increasing your creativity, productivity, and income, harmonizing your relationships, and helping others to do the same. Here's Laura Silva to guide you through the first part of this exercise. In the second part, I'll ask you to go to the laboratory level to help with some planetary problems.
We will start this exercise with the 3-2-1 method. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 1 3 times. You are now at level 1, the basic plane level that you have learned to use for a purpose, any purpose you desire. We will now impress information for your benefit, programming patience, trust, understanding, and compassion in everything you do, and success in achieving all your goals. From this moment on, you will have greater patience with yourself and others. You will have greater trust in your own intuitive wisdom and in your ability to touch the wisdom of others for the benefit of all. You will have greater understanding of your own shortcomings and those of others, and you will recognize the positive things you can do to transform these shortcomings into positive qualities. You will have greater compassion for yourself and others, and you will know that forgiveness is the first all-important step toward harmony among people. From this moment on, you will be able to use these powers of mind to achieve all that is best for yourself and all of humanity. Please stay at your level. Here's Dr. Stone.
Thank you, Laura. We are going to program for some positive planetary changes at our laboratory level now, with a 10-to-1 countdown. I'll give you time to greet your counselor and to say a welcome prayer. Surround yourself with a brilliant blue-white light. See yourself getting whatever you need from this light for your total well-being, including health, love, wisdom, and a closeness to universal intelligence. Now change the scene to planet Earth. See it slowly revolving. See it getting brighter with every turn as it becomes more and more enlightened and in harmony. You have a telescope in your laboratory. As you peer through the scope, you see physicians working side by side with psychics to improve the healing process. Mentally say, "So be it." Move the telescope. Now you see prisons empty, the streets safe, and people trusting one another. So be it. Another picture. Statesmen and diplomats are adding subjective communication to their diplomacy and bringing greater understanding in the world. So be it. Focus on some part of the world that has been impoverished and short of food. People are eating, children are thriving, there is no more famine. So be it. Now see something of your own choosing and program for it to come to pass. Thank you. Please thank your counselor. Say a farewell prayer. And come out on your own, 1 to 10, 1 to 5, wide awake and in perfect health.
This is Jose Silva. From now on, the rest of your life should be the best of your life. This becomes so as you now begin to better fulfill the responsibility given to you when you were born to this material world from the spiritual dimension. Now that you have strengthened your connection to higher intelligence, you've acquired the ability to solve all types of problems, to alleviate suffering, and to help make this a better place to live, so that when you move on, you'll have left behind a better world for those who follow. Whatever you do, you can now do better, because you have awakened the genius faculties that were dormant within you. You will now be sensitive in the detection of health problems and how to correct them. Likewise, you will be able to resolve family conflicts and business challenges. If you're a parent, you can educate your children in how to use more of their minds. You can help literally everyone you meet to be better at what they do and at what they are. Our assignment here is brief. This planet is like a giant airport in space with so many thousands arriving and so many thousands leaving every hour. In less than 100 years, the entire population of 5 billion people will be replaced. Therefore, we must use every day to good purpose. Remember that a new world opens up to you when you access your right brain and make the connection to the spiritual self. Go to the kingdom within. Become centered and clairvoyant. The more centered your thinking, the more prophetic and wise you become. Mistakes lessen. Suffering diminishes. You are solving problems with the Creator. So congratulations are in order. You are now on the right track to carry out your mission and to enjoy your life to the fullest. This is Jose Silva saying, may the intelligence that reigns in the whole universe bless you, and may we meet again, somehow, somewhere, on the path.
This has been a Nightingale Conant production for Simon & Schuster Audio.